what point did you realize the blue collar life wasn't for you and you were going to take a shot and go after this entertainment thing?
The blue collar life was difficult for me. It was low paying. It was outdoors. It was hot. It was dirty. I didn't have, I wasn't in a union, and I wasn't in a good version of the blue collar life. I was in a dirty version of the blue collar life, one that didn't pay. And it was a little bit dangerous, and it was always just hot and dusty. And I really, it was uncomfortable for me, quite uncomfortable. So I wanted to extricate myself from that blue collar world. And I also, it's a hard life. You get your tools ripped off, you get your truck broken into, clients don't pay on time, it rains, you can't go to work that day, or the roof's off and it starts raining and you have to go to work and put plastic on the, it's a hassle. It's a lot of work. And I just, I thought to myself, well, I could do it now, but I'm not really going to want to be doing this into my 40s, 50s, and 60s. That's the way I looked at it. So I just went another direction. I just, I was realistic with myself. I was like, well, you're good with your hands. You're a good builder. But what else you got? And I knew it wasn't going to be a white collar situation. My, skills, reading, writing, spelling, that situation. I didn't know how to make a tie. I knew I wasn't going to fit in a white collar world. And I also didn't really think I had any particular skill in, in accounting or being a lawyer or something like that. But I knew I had a sense of humor. So I was like, well, I'll pursue that and see if we can make something of this.
So now where is that pursuit where you begin to kind of go after comedy and acting, and then the boxing instruction? If I've gathered the right information, you're a boxing instructor and that's how you meet Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah. It is. I mean, it was kind of roundabout how I got to Jimmy from boxing. But yeah, I was a boxing instructor because I did carpentry in the day and I did comedy at night, essentially. But I never did get paid to do comedy. And it wasn't working out because it'd been quite a number of years that I'd been pursuing comedy, and I just never got a paycheck. And I couldn't find any road to getting paid to doing comedy. And so I had a kind of secondary thing, which is, well, I like boxing. I've always liked boxing. And if I could teach boxing, at least I'd be inside in some air conditioning and I'd be interacting with people and conversing and maybe be a little bit funny with them and have some fun and kind of do what I wanted to do. And yeah, it wasn't really going to get paid too much from it, but it was a compromise between carpentry and comedy, was sort of boxing instructor.
Yeah.
And so
which is amazing to me.
Well, I was training white-collar people to box, like airplane pilots and doctors and lawyers and stuff. And they were, fun and nice, and we would have a laugh, and I'd play the music and would put them through their paces. And it was sort of like, and it wasn't really like doing stand-up, but it was kind of like a performance. And it was better than, being up on some roof all day in Chatsworth, swinging a hammer with illegals.